Thank you very much. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, great. Okay. So there we, again, we worked extremely hard. And in the way, the ones we worked outside, sometimes the German people that worked there, they let us warm our hands, they had a fire going, but our shoes were broken already, those wooden shoes. We had to wrap newspaper if we found it, in order not to walk literally barefoot. At this point there was snow already. It was extremely hard. But there we got a little better food. We got one bowl of soup every time, whether in the morning or at night, depends what you work. And one boiled potato, in the beginning, one slice of bread a day. Then later on, just every other day, a piece of bread. You're constantly hungry. If you see any potato peel along going to work, you pick it up, you eat it without wash. A piece of cabbage that the Germans threw away. You ate anything, all you think, you become like an animal. No human being should experience hunger. Hunger is something you just can't. If you see a man asking for a quarter, give it to him. He might be hungry. Anyway, we were there many months. At this point, the Allies were bombing the camps. We lost 200 girls from the 2,000 by the bomb. They were killed. The bodies were all over. That was already in Essen. After many months in Gelsenkirchen, we were told to go to the next town, which was Essen. It's also West Germany. It's about a day's walk. We walked from Gelsenkirchen to Essen. There too, those that worked outside worked now in the factory and the other way around. So this time I was working in the factory. Also, it was very hard work, but at least when it snowed, you were inside and you were not hit with the water and all that. Anyway, what happened to me? A piece of iron fell on my left wrist, and if you cannot work, you're automatically being taken away. If you could be sick 2 days. After 2 days, if you are not better, you are taken away, never to be seen again. And everybody tried to hide it. Even if they were sick, they went to work because they were afraid that they were going to be killed, taken away. I said goodbye already to my niece and to my friends, and I knew that the next day there was a transport. There was some pregnant women with a new transport and some people that were very sick. A cousin of mine was among them. And middle of the night, somebody taps me on the shoulder. It's SS woman Erika. She says, "Komm du Kleine." She called me little one. I said, "Is it time to go?" She says, "Don't ask questions." She put me in the car and she took me to the hospital. There they put on a cast. I said, what do I need a cast? She says, "Don't ask anything." On the way home, she stopped off at Krug and she asked the foreman to give her a note that she needs me. Because if that Hungarian girl, or the Russian girl, or the Polish girl, or the Czech girl who does not know German, she doesn't know what the foreman wants her to do. So I was called and I said, do this, do that. That I'm talking again to you children. Learn all you can, because nobody can take that away from you. That will stay with you. In your case, it will be your career and your livelihood. In my case, it was a question of life and death. Had she not done that, I would have been sent to the gas chamber. So learn all you can. Remember, Judy said so. We were there in Essen many more months. And then one day we were told to go on the death march. But that was literally a death march. In what way? We had to walk. 3 weeks we walked from Essen to Bergen-Belsen. We were so emaciated. A little bit of food, some days nothing. If we found some grass, we ate that. We were dying of hunger, and we were so, as you saw, we were just skin and bone. But what was the worst? If there was a mother and daughter, and one just wanted to die, she lied down, she couldn't move anymore. We had to drag the other person, hopefully she can make it. And that was the hardest thing. Finally, we arrived in Bergen-Belsen. Anybody that survived the camp of Bergen-Belsen will live forever. As you saw in this picture, and I'm not happy about you children seeing those horrible things. All these mountains and mountains of dead bodies, just in a cone line. Wherever you turned, wherever you walked over a body. Hygiene, none whatsoever. Defecation all over. No control whatever. She distributes once a day food, soup, no more bread of any kind, ever. Today she does it in this corner, but tomorrow she does it in that corner. By the time you find out where she is, there is no more soup left. People are dying of hunger. My niece is completely jaundiced already. And she said, Judy, I'm dying. If I could only have a morsel of food. The SS women announced, if anybody is able and willing to carry the bodies into a mass grave, is going to earn a bowl of soup. I got one friend from my hometown, and I said, do you think you could still carry, we'll do it? She says, I'll try. And we go, we carry the bodies, the arms are breaking, the legs are breaking. We finally made it till the end of the day. We got a bowl of soup, we divided it between the three of us, and we were happy for that moment. My niece is gone, I don't see her anymore. I said, oh my God, she didn't want me to see her dead. There were days where the SS were gone. We said, oh, thank God, maybe somebody is coming to liberate us. But then they come back. You see, they pushed back. Anyway, until one morning, it was in 15th of May, that we see soldiers in a different uniform. They were the British. You are free. What a beautiful, beautiful thing to hear. I said to him, I spoke English, I said, I hope you're not disguised German. No, you are free. They gave us all the food they had. That was the wrong thing. More people died the days after than before, because our stomach was all shrunk and we could have eaten the rocks. We ate anything they gave us, and more people were dying. I was already very sick myself. The entire camp had the flag typhoid. The entire body is covered with dark gray spots. Very high fever. If you get it, if you make it 2 days, you are a hero. TB or coughing, there was just the most chaotic thing any human being can imagine. Well, what they did, they had to burn that part of Bergen-Belsen camp up completely. In 2010, I was invited to come there, to come to Bergen-Belsen to a reunion, those that made it. Anyway, so they burned down that part, and they created hospitals from schools, from churches, and they got doctors that were killing us the day before to try to cure us. Of course, there was no antibiotics, so they did their best what they could. Anyway, then they said, okay, those that came out and had somewhat, they were not cured, but somewhat better, you can stay in Germany in a displaced person camp, or you can go back to your country of origin, or there was a Swedish count, Count Folke Bernadotte, and he invited thousands of people to come to Sweden. Yes, incidentally, when I woke up after 4 weeks from the high fever, my niece was alive in the same room. So that was the most wonderful thing. Anyway, she chose to go back home to Czechoslovakia, hoping that she would find her brother, who unfortunately was killed 2 days before liberation. So she did not find him. I chose to go to Sweden. We came to Sweden. Suddenly you see people smiling, people being friendly. They brought us clothes, they brought us oranges, they brought us chocolate, all the food you could have. We didn't believe that that could happen, because at this point we thought that this was the end. We never believed that we will ever make it. And he promised. He said he will never do it. A half hour before he took the poison, he still gave orders to the German army, fight for the last drop of blood. He said he never admitted that he's losing the war. The Allies were there already, the Americans were there, the Russians were already, Auschwitz were liberated already. He still did not give in. Anyway, so in Sweden, it was wonderful. It took a whole year to get me well. I had to be in the hospital in and out. After that, I chose to go to school, and I learned my profession, and I learned another language. After that, I had to wait 3 years to get to my quota, because it was very high to come to the United States. When I came to the United States, I had one brother here, I had my grandmother here, uncles and aunts, and nobody loves this country as much and appreciates this country of ours as we survivors do, because we know what freedom means and we cherish it. And my niece went back to Czechoslovakia. She married, she had 2 children. Subsequently, in 1956, she moved to Israel, and she was there. She died 1.5 years ago. And whenever we had enough money between my brothers and me, we said that she came here practically once a year to visit us. And all of us, those that survived, there were quite a few from my hometown, about 6 women. We came to each other's house, and what do? We get together. Our husbands were not survivors, and what do? We talk about the camp, and we reminisce about bad times and that. But thank God, now we have a country, we have Israel, and God's will, it should be doing well forever. And I hope that you have many, many questions for me that I will be glad to answer. And I thank you for listening. I hope some questions from you, young lady. Say it loud, okay?
When you first got word that the Nazis might be coming to where you were, why didn't you just leave?
Yeah, why didn't I leave before? Oh, there was not, it wasn't so easy. In the beginning, you still had to have papers to leave. You couldn't just leave to a country. Nobody wanted us in a way. There was a big boat with people, full of people came to the United States, and they were returned. They had to go back. Many of them perished. Very few of them remained alive. The world did not want us.
Judy, what is your vision, or envision, how we can pass your story to the future generations? How our kids?
Yes.
I don't want it in 100 years from now. Holocaust will be denied by the
It's
society.
denied already.
What is your suggestion? What should we do? What can
Yes, be positive, read all you can, and write letters. Don't just take it. Don't like what we did. We really didn't do much. We did not do enough because we were saying, oh, it wouldn't happen. That is being very blind. Not to say, unfortunately, you will come to universities in a few years, and you will be encountered with anti-Semitism. You will see, go to the ADL is going to give you advice, what to do, how to handle it. And for all means, do not deny that you are a Jew. Because unfortunately, I hear that that's happening. That they are afraid to say that they are Jewish. Then don't let that happen. But stand out there and see what you can do. And you will get advice from Jewish agencies, from the ADL committee, from anywhere to do what to do. You see, but we didn't, we were afraid. It's even as the German says, immer an der Wand lag, keep quiet, keep low. It didn't help us at all.
After you got liberated, what did you study?
I'm sorry?
After you got liberated, what did you study?
Oh, after we were liberated, that was the most wonderful, wonderful feeling.
Yes, but what did you study?
Oh, what did I study? Well, I'm a technical writer and designer. I'm sorry, my hearing is not that great. In Sweden, I learned the language and I learned my profession, which is, let me explain it. Does your mother knit or crochet or sew? No. Okay. In order how to do it, and they don't know it, you buy a book. And I wrote the book or the magazine, and she tells you step by step how to do it, and that's me. Any other questions?
How did you find your family?
That's a very good question indeed. You know, my brother that was in the slave labor camp and subsequently caught by the Russians, it took me a whole year, and him as well, to get to know that he's alive. So what did we do? To the Red Cross. And even my brother in America, I wrote him a letter from Sweden. I knew he lived on Rochambeau Avenue, and I remember the number, 3133 Rochambeau Avenue. But I thought that all of America is Brooklyn, so I wrote Brooklyn, and it was the Bronx. So the letters kept coming back, and subsequently I gave it to a British soldier. He sent it to the British Red Cross, they sent it to the American, and it took half a year for my brother to find out that I'm alive. And then he started sending packages to Sweden, and we got Jello. What do we know about Jello? But I knew how to read. Why didn't I read what? So what did we do? We tried to eat it with a spoon. Anyway, but it took a while. But even then, well, Sweden was a very, very wonderful thing, wonderful place, because people either went to work or went to school or did nothing. There was the UNRWA, and they can stay there until they decide whether they want to go to America or to Israel, and some of them got married and stayed in Sweden there. But in another thing, you would say, what kept you more? Your question. What kept me? I believed in God. There were days I said, dear God, how can you let that happen? But then I said, no, I guess he doesn't care. But then the sun came out, and I said, thank God, you made it. You know, constantly thinking, and I think that the believing in God helped me. Any more questions? Oh, well, I have stories galore as long as I have time. Anyway, when we were in Auschwitz, we were given a postcard, and we had to address it to our friends, to the Gentile friends. And we were saying, we are wonderful, we are together with our parents, and we have a wonderful life, and it was mailed to them. And when my niece, after we were liberated, she went to Prague, And from there she went to my hometown, to Yasina, and she met one of her friends. She said, "Did you get my card?" And the girl said, "Yes, and we thought that you were doing well." However, at this point, for instance, my niece went to see our house. Our house was completely leveled because they were looking, they knew that we had money, so they thought that they will find it. My Ida's house was still standing, but any of the properties, they held on to it. Like in 2010, I went with 80 students, and there was one family that came there without their children. They just wanted to come along. So they come there, and that was in Warsaw. And they knew exactly where his parents lived. And he comes there, and he goes in, and he tells the Polish person, "This was the house of my parents." "Oh," he says, "I can show you papers, I bought it." And he didn't buy it, but whatever. So he says, "I don't want it. I'm not taking it back from you, but I insist." And he gives them a little plaque on a metal thing. "This house belonged to," I don't know, Chaim Yankel, whatever, the name, and he said, "I want that to hang forever there. And you can go free, I don't want it there. But that plaque has to hang there constantly." So that was his revenge to what happened. No, any other? Okay. There is, I want to read, are there any twins among you? You are a twin?
They're twins,
No.
yes, I
Oh.
am. And there are twins. Brother and sister.
Oh, good, we have more questions. Okay. What? You're a twin? Oh, well, thank God that you were born in this country and in this era. What happened? As you saw the last picture of these Operation people, these were all twins. The twins had a little bit of a better life. They got better food, they slept in a bed, and they had a pillow and a blanket. But the experiments that were done on them was inhumane. They were operated on without any anesthesia. Do I have enough time to read a long letter?
Yes, yes, about 10 more minutes.
10 more minutes, probation. Oh my gosh, something else to tell you. Okay, now this is a letter from a Mengele's victim. Okay, while one Auschwitz survivor avoided doctors for 65 years. Okay, 65 years ago, infamous Auschwitz Dr. Joseph Mengele removed Yitzhak Gannon's kidney without any anesthesia. The Greek-born Jew swore never to see a doctor again if he survives, until a heart attack brought his horrific tale to an end. Here is this thin man, his wine red cardigan is a little too big, and his legs are like matchstick, very skinny. In his brown pants, Yitzhak Gannon takes care of himself. He's freshly shaven, his white mustache mostly trimmed. The 85-year-old sits on a gray sofa with a cushion supporting his back. He's too weak to stand by himself, but he still greets a guest, German Guten Tag, that's from the German newspaper. Speaking is hard for him. Slowly, Ada, says his daughter, Iris, and brings him a glass of water. His father has never in his life complained of any pain at all. A month ago, he came back from his morning walk and lied down. "Are you sick, Papa?" Iris asked. "No, just a little bit tired." Yitzhak Yitzchak Gannon answered, "Before going to sleep, God, but after a few hours, he was still tired. I don't need a doctor," he told his daughter. Okay, the next morning thing, but anyway, he had a heart attack and all that. Well, what happened? After he came to the hospital, they said, "How come, what is the incision that you have?" He says, he has only one kidney. He says, all his life, even the wife, the family didn't know that. He kept it a secret. So, well, I'm just going to tell the story because it's too long to tell. Anyway, what happened? His trip from Greece took 2 weeks on the train. And his father died in the cattle car and all that. But anyway, he comes to Auschwitz with his brother. His brother was taken away, was killed immediately, and he went to the hospital where Mengele had. Our block was block 14, and the hospital was just across from there. So, what happened? And right after the second day, they did an operation on him, and they took out his kidney, and Mengele showed it to him how it still moved. Then they put people into water, ice water for 24 hours. Mengele wanted to see how the human being can react. Did all kinds of experiments on them. And what happened at the end, this is not in this letter. When it was in Auschwitz, and they saw the Russians were coming. So what did they do? They gathered all the people, especially the twins, and had them waiting to get into the gas chamber. There were two twins from Hungary. They came from Budapest, and they were late. No experiments were done on them. One day, it was just about a day before the Russians came in completely into Auschwitz. Mengele comes in and he sees the room full of twins. He says, "What are these twins doing here?" So the guy says, "They are the next to go into the gas chamber." So he says, "Well, who told you that these people are next? I have another room that they are next." Anyway, P.S. in the meanwhile, the Russians came in and those twins from Budapest remained alive. So he said, "I was saved by Mengele twice. Once that he selected me, and once this time that I did." But anyway, if there's any more questions, I want to thank you so much for listening and for being here, and hope to God that no Jew in the world and no human being should go through